Hey everybody, it's the Big Llama Show. Just wanted to warn everybody, there's a lot of spoilers that we're going to talk about for the new Mortal Kombat movie. Did an interview with my buddy AD. We're talking about Mortal Kombat, but it's heavy on spoilers. So please, if you haven't seen Mortal Kombat, stop this video and come back after you've seen the movie. With that, let's get to the show.
Yeah, it's in the she ruckus. Deadbeat, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. You ain't a killer, boy, stop. I hear you yelling stacks on deck, boys.
All right, this is Big Llama coming back at you here. Before we get into the review, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. It's the first time I'm doing sort of a conversation with another somebody who loves movies just like I do. AD's a big movie fan, so we decided to link up together. If you like what we're doing, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. Make sure that you join the Llama Nation. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. The more, the better. And then we can do more content like this. This is, again, the first time that we're doing this. So let's get right to it. Instead of me going through the review by myself, we're going to talk about different parts of the movie. So first, I'm gonna throw it to AD and see what your thoughts are on just overall what you thought about the movie, and then we'll break down the different pieces. So what do you think about the movie when
Before we start, are we doing spoilers or non-spoilers?
We're doing spoilers.
Spoilers, all right.
Yeah, because I'll blast spoilers all over.
All over, sweet.
Yeah.
So I love the movie, but I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, so I'm kind of biased in that nature. I thought the storyline was kind of weak, but I'm a huge, like you said, I love movies, so I'm a nerd. I read the leaked scripts that came out 2016, read the leaks that came out 2018, so I kind of already knew what the movie was going to be about. But from the script, the leaks that I read, and then what they put on screen, it satisfied me. Satisfied me a lot, actually.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think the movie itself wasn't the story filled. It had a lot more story it could have told. I felt like it was a bit rushed to try to get as many characters as they could in there, but they did a good job of setting up a possible sequel. But I'm like you. The visuals were really, really good. It's definitely an upgrade from the last Mortal Kombat.
Annihilation.
Abomination.
We call
Annihilation.
We call it Abomination where I'm from.
Listen, man, that movie was an abomination. If everybody made it through that movie, you're a big fan. If anyone could tell me they really like that movie, they're a big fan. So, but no, definitely an upgrade. So for me, visually very pleasing. Now, I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it here in my house. I had HBO Max. You went to the theater, right?
No, I didn't get to go to the theater, so I just watched it on my computer. But I'm definitely going to check it out in theaters because it was visually pleasing.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's what's wrong with some of the movies that we've been watching on HBO Max and on the computers is that something like Mortal Kombat deserves the movie theater treatment, and unfortunately, just either out of necessity or things aren't open. And over here in Florida, the things aren't open. So when they are open, they're very limited, and it's tough to go to a really good theater that has the sound and everything you need. So, but that's what's missing in some of these HBO Max releases. I've been watching them all on the TV, and it's just not memorable, but the movies are good. So,
with movies like that, you do need the experience of going to the theaters, and plus, when you're at home, you can get distracted by things, so you're not 110% into the movie. That's I kept checking my phone, where normally at the movies I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is when you get immersed in the movie, it's a different feel, different experience. But again, so let's go back to let's start with the bad, right? Let's start at this point, and then what we really liked about it. I'll start. My thing is, I was a little disappointed that Scorpion had minimal screen time. I like that we were exploring his backstory. I feel like it was really well made, and it actually had a lot of heart and to it. But then he just went away, and then and I get it, they were teasing him, but for all the media and all the trailers prominently featuring him and Scorpion, I thought there was going to be more Scorpion. So that's the one area I was a little bit disappointed.
I agree, especially with the opening scene. It was a beautifully shot scene. great action. Like you really felt like when he saw his spoiler alert, when he saw his family frozen dead, like you felt that, and they killed him off. They didn't even show him like. I thought they were gonna show him in like the underworld, like going through the transformation at least a little bit, and I thought that's what like in the trailer. I thought the flashback of Cole, it was like teasing at that. You know what I mean? But it really didn't utilize Scorpion as a character very well.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of think there might be more Scorpion footage.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of teases in the trailers, and then even in the movie, you know, it looks like there's a whole lot more to the underworld or the Never Realm, wherever he was, and it just didn't explore it. But you're right. I would have liked to see the transformation too. I mean, it's something that probably would have made the story a lot better. And I know they had to throw it to the other guys, so you got to get more characters in there. But Scorpion was the main draw, and unfortunately, he just didn't have enough time.
So one thing from the leaks, they were trying to make Cole's character at the end of the movie, like that was a huge thing, and like when the leaks dropped, that he was Scorpion. So they rewrote the movie 3 times or 2 times since the first like original draft. So I feel like that has a big part of why Scorpion isn't in the movie, because they kept the lineage of him and Cole, which I didn't feel satisfied with, like what they said. It was like, oh well, you're just like a part of his bloodline. They didn't really even give him any power similar to Scorpion, because I hated Shield. He got like plot armor.
He looked like Aquaman. He looked like Aquaman
Yeah.
with knives on his arms.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You're right. I was like, I was with you. I didn't know the leaks of the that were out there. But the more I was watching, I was like, all right, he's Scorpion, or he's going to embody Scorpion in some shape or
Some
form.
form or fashion, yeah.
Right. But when he got the Aquaman armor and he got the knives in the arms, I was like, all right, well, this is a new character, I guess, but wasn't Scorpion. So at least give him the ability to throw the spear and bring it back. I don't know. That would have been nice. A little nod to Scorpion.
At least give him a scene that's not an action scene. Also, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't get any character development for Scorpion. As Scorpion, we got Hanzo, and then we got Scorpion. You know what I mean? That's
right.
And
what's Sub-Zero's deal? I mean, that dude was just angry.
Yeah, he was. It was like a horror. Like every time he came on screen, it was like a horror movie. Like what he did to Jax and how he left him. Like I was like, oh shit! Like he's not to be effed with.
Listen. What? Yeah, he tore off them arms, man, and I was just like, my God. And then he just kicked him off.
And just
So then, like you didn't even go check if he was dead. You just let him go. But you know, Scorpion. I mean, Sub-Zero, I guess, man. All right, so let's talk about Sub-Zero in terms of him playing Michael Myers in the movie and doing some jump scares. I mean, he was just hiding, and all of a sudden he shows up. I mean, that to me, again, it's not Sub-Zero in what you would think the character does, but it was effective. You know, he's a bad guy and he does bad guy things. So
that's really what they just made him a generic villain in a lot of ways.
Right. That's what I was telling you. Is like, why was he just angry? Like that was the key. Is like, why is he just?
That's actually a great point. That's actually a great point, because now that I think about the opening scene, they didn't really give dialogue as to why he's killing Hanzo and like after Hanzo. He just said what did he say, the Shinryu or whatever. Right.
So and that's what I'm saying. Unless you know the mythology, unless you know the lore, it's like, why is he doing it? And then for me, like I said, I didn't brush up on the character, and I didn't brush up on but I was watching this, like, I know this character, and all of a sudden he just came and killed. I'm like, all right, they're supposed to be enemies. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
and I think the 95 movie kind of set up Sub-Zero and Scorpion terrible too. Like just as like for a normal moviegoer, because I'm super into like Mortal Kombat lore. So to me, it didn't register that they didn't explain it very well. But now that I'm actually thinking about it, they really didn't explain anything about Sub-Zero either. He was he was just the big bad. He ripped off Jack's arm to like set a precedent of like how bad of a guy he is, and then
what was it that they called it? You find your inner something?
Your Arcana.
Right. So that I don't know if that was explored much in the other movies, but like I want to know why Sub-Zero does what he does. How do you get the freezing powers?
Yeah.
You know, how does he have those abilities? Where do you learn it from? That type of stuff. But now it got explained as just, hey, it's an internal thing that turns on when you're ready.
Yeah. Ugh.
All right.
The
let's-
Arcana thing
Go ahead.
is another negative for me, to be honest.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It was more of, all right, how do we explain powers
Yeah.
without doing a training montage or without lengthening the movie to show them how they create these abilities? It's just, okay, you find your inner thing. Good. You move on. Let's talk about the scene stealer, man. I know you're probably thinking what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Kano.
Kano,
I
man.
mean,
as soon as he gets on the screen, he had me laughing, like immediately.
listen, Kano had the best lines in the movie. Probably all the F-bombs were his. But and listen, I know they didn't build up the characters, and I know that's probably the thing that's missing in this movie. But Kano didn't need that buildup. You just got it from his introduction, and then that first sequence where he, again, spoiler alert, where he punches that thing through the chest and grabs the heart and does the fatality. I mean, that's some fan service right there. That was all about the fans.
Yeah.
But more than that, it could have just been that one scene. I think throughout the movie, Kano proves his worth, and to me, really helps bring a little bit of levity to the movie, but it also helps be a better movie.
Yeah.
The issue I have is that it looks like he's in a completely different movie than everybody else.
That's a great point, because he could have been the Cole character, like our way into the world, because he was saying like exactly what a normal person would be like. Throw fireballs, like, you know what I mean? Like a normal person would say that. Like, yeah, I hope I get fireballs. Like, and then even when he gets his power, he's like way better than I forgot who he did, but he did somebody. He's like, it's way better than your powers. Like, yeah.
Listen, he is the view for the viewer. He's our view, and he asks those questions, and he moves us along in the story, which was great. But like I said, he just captivates you on the screen. You see him on the screen, you want to hear what he says, and he's not just swarmy. He's actually smart and intelligent. And then his spoiler alert again, his switch, right, was, I mean, it's telegraphed. You knew it was going to happen, but because Kano's never been a good guy, but still good, still great. I thought it still made the movie. So.
I think it hurt his character just in the perspective of like, he kind of like, they pushed him to the background when he went to that side, because they have so many villains, and Sub-Zero clearly was their like A1 villain. So once he went to that side, he kind of like went to the background, and then it's killed by Sonya, which made no sense. That kills me with the Arcana thing, because she got it and then used it immediately. Like, she got the scar and then used it immediately, when it took Cole a whole training montage to get it. And he didn't even get it then. He got it in the midst of battle. So,
and you know what? You bring up Cole again. What was his thing? To get his ass whooped throughout the movie? Like, I thought for sure in that first MMA scene where they're introducing him, he was going to pull off some crazy moves, and what, he loses a match,
and then he so he loses, and they didn't really give him any like really good dialogue throughout the whole movie. I kind of forgot he was there half the time, because like once Liu Kang comes, and then Kano, those are like the audience's two ways in, and I think that's what Cole was, and it just was like kind of too many options. So there's like no good dialogue for him. Kind of really didn't do anything, like you said. He got his ass whooped throughout the whole movie, and then his first fight that he wins is against Prince Goro. It's like, come on, come on.
I mean, he should have struggled on that fight just like he did all the other fights, man. And Prince Goro, I when I saw the trailer, I had said, and I'll put a link on my trailer reaction to this video. I had said he looks like the CG version of the old movie, the original Goro.
Yeah.
And when he's fully fleshed out in the movie, he does look a lot better, and it is an upgrade. But still a little bit comical. You know what he looked like? He looked like the Hulk. He had Hulk traits.
They did. I think they did really well with like. There wasn't really bad CGI, to be honest, in the movie.
No. The CGI was good. It was totally upgrade.
Yeah.
I just felt like, oh, you know what it was? Two things. One, I was like, okay, they went to the well and they took the Hulk look and they used it for Prince Goro. But did you catch a Harry Potter feel when Shang Tsung showed up in like the Voldemort black and, and smoke?
It's funny because Kano made like a Harry Potter reference. I think.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I think he did make a Harry Potter reference, but yes, I did. Like the Death Eater smoke or whatever.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly it. And I was like, this looks just like the Harry Potter movies when you're introducing Voldemort and his buddies. But it doesn't take away from it. I mean, you have to use elements from other things, so I'm okay with that.
So I guess we could take away the bad of this movie was the story.
Yeah, for sure.
But the good was the action, which is, I mean, a Mortal Kombat movie. And I get it because this is like a prequel to the like first turn or to that tournament that we seen in the 95 movie. This would be considered like the prequel to that. So in the sequel, we'll actually get a fleshed out tournament. And now that we have this movie out and it seems like it's doing well, just from what I see online, I think the sequel will come. And I think the story will be better. And if they take the action that they did and like even the attention to detail to like the choreography, like sequel is going to be an amazing movie.
Right. And you know, it had I mean, look, they could have ruined it by rushing through to get all the characters out. It was something I was looking forward to was the tournament. But I'm okay that the tournament didn't happen. I'm glad that we introduced the characters that it took its time to tell the story, even though the story was lacking. There was just too much in it, but it does set up a pretty good sequel with a lot of great sort of payoffs. The you know, if again, spoiler alert, if I'm jumping to the end of the movie, the Johnny Cage reveal at the very end, like, you know, say what you will about the story, but that got me excited as a fan. I was like, okay, the movie was good. The action scenes were amazing. And then, hey, I'm going to get a Johnny Cage and probably more characters next movie. I'm in. You know, here's my money. Take it.
100%, 100%. And I love how they cut it. They cut off at the belt, so you only see the cage. And because now they can get a big name actor, especially if this movie does well. They can get a big name actor like a Ryan. I mean, I'm just throwing Ryan Reynolds out there because I've seen a lot of people throw him out there. But like, he would be a really good Johnny Cage, and that would bring way more eyes. Oh man,
they need to up the star factor. I like that they're unknowns.
Yeah,
but man, hey, can we get a Donnie Yen in there? Can we get a Ryan Reynolds? Can we get somebody in there?
Somebody, yeah.
No, but listen, going back to the action, man. I mean, the violence was great.
Yes.
The gore was great. Like I said in the beginning when we were talking, I would have liked to see more gore. That one scene where that one character gets sliced in half was what I was looking for. So I'm hoping they up the ante in that one.
Which I think they will. That was very Mortal Kombat-esque though.
So listen, funny quick story. We're watching the movie. Mind you, my wife doesn't really like Mortal Kombat. It's just me and the kids. And, you know, she's not paying attention. She's on her phone. But when does she look up?
Right when he jumps on her back.
Kung Lao throws the hat, spins, and all of a sudden she's up and looking. And for sure, she saw the entire scene from beginning to end. And then she looks at me and says, "You have my kids watching this movie?" And so, you know, I had to try to, like, you know, get past it. I turned up the volume a little bit.
Diffuse the situation real quick.
But that's what you want. Like, listen, that's what they did well, and that's what is going to continue this franchise to keep going to more movies. That's what they did extremely well. The violence and the gore was exactly what it needed to be for a Mortal Kombat movie. It's not a PG-13 movie; it's an R-rated movie, and that's what it needed to be. So
yeah, and they used every bit of that R when it came to the gore. Like Jack smashing the dude's head was, I kind of was like, ugh, gross. But you know what I mean? I was like, damn. But they definitely set the tone with like the gore with the Sub-Zero. Well, obviously the opening scene when Scorpion runs through Sub-Zero's homies, like he ran through them, and even their fight was very well. But when he ripped off Jax's arms, I think it set the tone for the movie. I was like, oh, okay, now I see exactly where they're going, because obviously they showed that in the trailer, but you get like an actual good fight scene out of it before he even rips it, which I really enjoyed. But yeah, the fighting made the movie worth it, 110.
Yeah, it could have been just, a quick fan service to just have them two meet and then he just breaks off the arms. But it was a good, hard fought. Speaking of Jax too, his little arms were funny, man.
I don't know if they intentionally thought it was gonna be so funny, but when he was trying to lift the rock off of Sonya and you just see the struggle, it's like, oh man, I feel bad for the guy.
Be like, Jax, man, a couple more push-ups, dude. A couple more push-ups, some curls, something, man.
And they said they traveled, in the dialogue, he was like, yeah, we traveled around the realms to find something that can fix it. That's what you found, scrawny arms? I think they even had, it was the fingers were, even thin.
Yeah, listen, it was T2, man. That's what it was.
I mean, I get, obviously they were going to give him good arms eventually, but it was just it was a very funny visual. And he's so, muscular, so it's you see the muscular dude with the scrawny toothpick of a metal arm. It's what is he going to do?
Listen, you know another thing, too, that's pretty cool, and I'm glad they didn't do it, is they didn't go full costume on these guys.
Yeah.
Aside from, the Aquaman shield at the end. But it would have been funny to see him in purple tights with those arms. But no, they listen. They did the story well. It was realistic. It was gritty, and that's that's the type of Mortal Kombat we need. I still like the original '95 Mortal Kombat. It was funny. It was campy. It was for the time. It was great.
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah, but it needed an upgrade, and this was the upgrade that they got, and I'm not mad about it. So,
I'm not mad about it again,
at all. Yeah, and again, I'll say this. I've seen a couple people post online already. They were already complaining about the story, and which again is rightfully so. But you got to enjoy that it's a significant upgrade from the original movies. For sure.
Oh yes, and I said, I mean, reading the scripts and knowing, I said, I'm a super nerd when it comes to especially movies I love. I read leaks. I watch the movie reviews before the movie even comes out. But reading what I did, I wasn't looking forward to it. As a Mortal Kombat fan, I was, just because I wanted a new movie, so I was gonna watch it no matter what. But I really wasn't looking forward to it. So the amount of rewrites they had, and the amount of things that the production went through, even with COVID, coming, it threw it back, and they were filming still through then. So the stuff they went through, what they put out was really, really good, and it beat my expectations, to be honest. I had low expectations for the movie. I thought it was gonna be good, with the action as it was, but I had low expectations, and it really did. And like you said earlier, it set up a sequel really nice.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point about the COVID stuff. It's you don't have the freedom to do a couple reshoots to bring in more players. You kind of have to go with what you got in the can and just try to put it out, because it's already been delayed and there's not a lot of, a lot of people don't realize that with COVID and with these movies being, backed up in releases, you can't do what you used to do, which is, hey, you got a bad CGI, let's go fix it in post, or let's shoot, let's go with additional footage. You just got to go with what you got, because the movie's got to get out. It's already delayed. And I know HBO was banking on this one to continue its subscribers. So, but given all the stories and everything about the production issues, it's still a hell of a good movie.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so let's do this, because we could wax poetic about Mortal Kombat all night long, and so let's do a final review here. Let's talk about what if you were to grade this movie. I always give ABC and all that stuff to keep it pretty simple. What would you grade this particular movie?
You do pluses?
Yeah, I do pluses and minuses. You know what? That gets me. That's a loophole. That's my gray area.
That's how you. I'll give it. If I, as a Mortal Kombat fan, I'll give it a B minus. As a Mortal Kombat fan, as a film fan, I'd give it like a C plus maybe, just because the action was so good. It hit. I mean, you get video game fatalities, so it gives a lot of fan service. There's stuff in the back that characters that you seen on Sonya's wall, I didn't even expect them to put in, like newer characters from the game. So in that aspect, yeah, I'll give it a B minus.
All right, I think I'm closer to a C plus, and what I do sometimes with these ratings is I look at it from the perspective of, all right, who's the target audience and what are they trying to do with this movie? C plus only because it could have been a whole lot more with the story. They probably could have done a little bit more, but C plus is a good grade. Again, this is not an Oscar-winning performance. This is not going to be nominated for Academy Awards or anything like that. But it's exactly what you want at a Mortal Kombat movie. You've got your fight, you got your violence, the gore, the blood. You've got some characters showing up, and again, you've got a setup for a sequel. Because if you want to continue to see these characters on the big screen, now you've got an avenue to see them a little bit more. So trust me when I tell you that I would recommend it highly to anybody who's a video game fan, just a fan of violence and gore in movies. So again, C plus for me. But again, it's well worth the watch. One thing I will say is I just recently bought this ginormous surround sound system, which it was well worth it. I mean, I spent too much. Don't tell my wife. But man, watching that movie in that sound
was this the first movie you used it?
It's the first one. I waited. When I bought it, I set it up and I checked other movies, but I didn't watch a movie in full. And when I watched this one, it was well worth it. So I can see why the cinema experience would have been better. Plus, you know what? Being in a theater with other people who like, Mortal Kombat and are interested in things that you are, you get those applauses and you get those laughs and you
it's feel the energy. You feel the energy in there.
For sure. And that's my thing. And I know on my channel I've always talked about keeping the theaters open, and I've ranted and raved about it. But there is something. I'll tell you, because of the pandemic, I watched a ton of movies in my house, and I just don't remember half of them because there's nothing memorable about me sitting in my living room watching these movies. But again, the sound mixing was great. The movie overall looked beautiful. So I really enjoyed it.
If you go into the last thing I'll say is, if you go into the movie expecting it to be a Mortal Kombat movie with fighting and blood, you get that, and it fulfills that need. And that's what I mean. At the very end of the day, that's what you need. Nobody really cares. I mean, they do, but nobody really cares about the story when it comes to a video game. Yeah. You know what I mean? They just want to see their video game portrayed in a way that they enjoy it. So, yeah,
listen. But I would recommend this. Right, it's almost like a UFC fight. Get your friends over, get a couple of the girls over, and put that movie in, and just crank it up and watch it and just enjoy it. I mean, again, the pure joy that my children got out of my children, right? My kids, they're a little older. Please don't judge me, YouTube world. Jeez. I have a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old, and he's probably seen more violence on Call of Duty. But yeah, there's nothing like listening to them go, "Oh man," and then just start reacting to each of the fatalities and the different things they saw, and it was just great. So it's one of those movies you see with some friends, and you definitely just enjoy what you're seeing. Again, if you're over analyzing the story and the intricate details, he's not really doing we did that, but we're doing an overall review. But if you sit down and watch this movie, you'll enjoy it for sure. So, all right, man. Any final thoughts, man? Anything else?
Just go see the movie because I want the sequel. And thank you for having me on your channel. I appreciate it.
Listen, AD, no problem. I'm hoping to do more. I had some ideas. So listen. So just for everybody, this is the Big Llama Show review. AD, thank you so much for joining me. If we do this again, we'll do other movies. I'm hoping that we do this more. I was thinking of an idea, though. I know, AD, you're a big baseball guy.
Yeah.
what if we broke down the top baseball movies, man?
Oh, listen, I'm down for that. I have my opinions on those movies.
Yeah, no. I just saw a list that was released that said, I think ESPN that sends it out. What's the best baseball movie? And a couple that I loved weren't on there. So I was like, all right, we got to talk about that. So anyway, all right. So if we do this again, maybe we'll do other topics. If you liked what you saw here, hit us up in the comments. Let us know your thoughts. What was your favorite part of Mortal Kombat? Which parts did you enjoy? Which parts didn't you like? Make sure, again, you like, share, and subscribe this with all your friends. Become a member of the Llama Nation. Thank you, AD, for joining me on the Big Llama Show. We appreciate it. Once again, this is the Big Llama Show. Everyone, peace out.
I'd never lose you, baby. You're the one I keep as my prima donna, my only ruby. You are the one for me.
Yeah, I tell her, baby, you're the one for me. Never two unless you're telling me you feel it too.